Is Wasteland 2 worth playing before Wasteland 3 is out in 2020? My fair review. Once upon a time, back in 1988, Brian Fargo released Wasteland, or better to say Wasteland 1. 10 years later, he made a masterpiece post-apocalyptic CRPG named Fallout 1, that was basically Wasteland 2. Now he plans to release Wasteland 3 in 2020, and I'm about to give you the full review for a very underrated Wasteland 2, or as I like to call it, the real Fallout 3, and not that first person shooter garbage from Bethesda. First section is the story. Story of Wasteland is brilliant. You start as a rookie desert ranger in Arizona with a simple mission to resolve a murder of a fellow ranger. Without spoiling the story, I'll just say that narration, texts, item inscriptions, humor, and conversations are absolutely brilliant. There is basically no main villain in the game. It's your choices and consequences while you try to resolve 1000 factions and problems in post-apocalyptic Arizona and LA. There are 50 different endings, 3 to 5 options to resolve quests on hundreds of side quests and a bunch of main quests. Conversations are witty, smart, immersive, intriguing, and funny. This presentation of storytelling can only be done in CRPG genre, and Wasteland 2 is a pure example of how it should be done. Pure brilliance for Wasteland lore and storytelling and world building. 10 out of 10 for story section. Next section is bugs and optimizations. Wasteland 2 Director's Cut is bug-free, not a single crash in more than 100 hours. It's optimized to perfection even though it's Unity engine. Loading times are extremely fast. Also, it's not system demanding at all. 10 out of 10. Next section is game time. Huge game. Monster huge game. Easily 100 hours plus with 1000 multiple ending outcomes with a huge replay value no matter on what difficulty you're playing on. 10 out of 10 for game time. Next section is game difficulty. You'll have 4 options to pick from: Rookie, Seasoned, Ranger, and Supreme Jerk as the hardest difficulty. I played on Supreme Jerk and it's really hard. 40% of fights were okay hard. 40% of fights were easy and 20% of fights were extremely hard. So the game balance is okay, I guess. It's challenging in some parts, it has multiple difficulty options. Some fights should have been nerfed, some fights should have been buffed. All in all, 8 out of 10 for game difficulty. Next section, maps and graphics. When I say how this game has only 2 maps, it sounds funny, but it's the truth. It's Arizona and Los Angeles. The point is, both Arizona and LA have 50 different areas and mini-maps to explore. Main map and mini-map are absolutely brilliant with design. Maps and areas that you'll visit are orange, gray, and green, or better to say, those colors dominate the most in this post-apocalyptic masterpiece. Colors are depressive, but so is the world of Wasteland. God knows how many nukes fell in America. Radiation zones, they're everywhere. Navigation and exploration are very fun and rewarding. Graphics, they're a bit outdated, and the game looks and feels like it's at least 10 plus years old, and not only 6. 8 out of 10 for maps and graphics. Next section is gameplay, the most important part. So what do you do in this game? You'll shoot, loot, strategize, scavenge resources, hack, lockpick, crack safes, disarm bombs and mines, help those in need, spend a lot of time talking and exploring, bring law and order to Arizona and LA. Combat is turn-based and it's exactly the same like in Fallout 1 and 2. Even the user interface is similar. You'll hack robots to fight on your side, charm animals with Animal Whisperer, throw frags, use rocket launcher when you're angry, and when you're not, regular weapons will be enough to finish the job. Turn-based combat is initiative-based and every character will wait for its turn to play. Combat is okay, nothing special, but RPG elements are just pure brilliance, so I'm torn apart with rating here. 9 out of 10 is the best option for gameplay. It's very simple. If combat was more satisfying, I would give it an easy 10 out of 10, but it's not. Leveling and itemization is the next section. In Wasteland, you literally receive XP non-stop. You pick a lock, XP gained. You win a conversation, XP gained. You discover something, XP gained. You kill, XP gained. You heal, XP gained. You click, XP gained. You fart, XP gained. What that means? It means that you level up non-stop. I finished the game with level 43 plus on 7 characters. That's a lot of attribute points, skill points, and perks to choose from. You'll open up with a quirk, receive attribute point on every 10th level, skill points on every level, and perks on every 4th level. Check my guide if you want to see the builds for Wasteland 2. Same goes with weapons and items. Most of weapons have alternate shooting mod, burst mods. Most weapons can be modified with weaponsmithing skills, upgrade skills, upgrade crits, raise damage, raise your clip size, lower your gem percentage chance. Fuck gemming, by the way. Items, there are so many items in this game, from quest items, trinkets, armors, and cosmetics to Air Jordans, big black dildos and condoms, I'm dead serious, nude magazines, mountain shoes, old consoles and keyboards, bent spoons from Matrix, video cassettes, relics from 21st century. They're all scattered throughout Wasteland, and you loot them and sell them as junk in most cases. They're inscriptions, descriptions of those items. They're bloody hilarious also. Less stashes and containers with better loot would save a lot of game time though. 8 out of 10 for leveling and itemization. Next section is NPCs and enemies. 4 main characters to start the game, 7 members is the maximum number allowed in the squad, and that means you'll pick 3 out of 20 plus in-game characters as your companions. All characters are specific in their own way and will offer different skill sets to your party. They are fully voice acted also. I can't say they're memorable, because they're not. Regular NPCs are far more memorable and more unique than your companions are. The amount of NPCs in the game is absolutely insane though. Most of them will have a purpose towards the ending, so you'll need to pick smart which one of them you'll help or not. Enemies, well, 70% of enemies are different factions of humans, like raiders, monks, mad priests, and so on. 20% of enemies are robots, synths, and fully exalted robots, robotic enemies, and 10% are wildlife, mutated animals and insects. There are boss fights, of course. Bosses are crazy hard on hardest difficulty. AI is okay, but nothing special. 8 out of 10 for NPCs and enemies. Last section is music and sound. Wasteland 2 has far better sound effects than actual music. Voice acting is on spot. More than 70% of conversations they're voice covered. 100% of important conversations are voice covered. The main highlight of this section are actually radio broadcasts while you traverse the wasteland, especially in LA. Magic happens in LA. Those radio broadcasts are mysterious, funny, and really innovative and refreshing in the genre. 10 out of 10 for music and sound. At the end, we got 81 points in 9 sections, and that would be 9.2 out of 10 for Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. Wasteland 2 is the best post-apocalyptic CRPG in video gaming history. Wasteland 2 is for sure top 5 CRPG in the last 10 years. Wasteland 2 is the full package of Fallout 1 and 2 in full 3D rotating isometric camera view. Wasteland 2 is the real Fallout 3. Wasteland 2 is worth playing. Wasteland 2 is worth buying. Wasteland 2 is for sure in top 10 most underrated games in video gaming history. all genres included. One little thing to switch here before we end. That's the real final score. I'll thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.